Because they're always saying, I should get paid, I should get paid. What if I pay them? What if I give them a financial incentive to do work? Would they actually do work? And if they did work, would it be better than what they would ordinarily do? And so that is what we're going to be looking at today. From the moment I started teaching, the first day I started teaching, a student said to me, I should be paid to come here. And that statement was not unique. Every year that I have worked as a teacher, which has been 8 years already, I always have students in the class, they're like, we should get paid to be here. And I did notice that a lot of those who said they should get paid to be here is because they had jobs outside of school that they wanted to be at, that they wanted to go to, and they felt that school was an inconvenience for them to be here. So basically, we were learning about slavery, the transatlantic slave trade, and then slavery in the American South. And they had to do a project where they were going to be creating posters and basically illustrate something about slavery, something that they learned about slavery. They need to create an image of it, a poster with visuals and writing on it. That was the project. And so I told the students that the top 4 projects would be getting money prize. First place would get $100, second place would get $75, third place would get $50, and fourth place would get $25. A lot of them worked in groups, and so when you take $50 and you divide it by 5 people, you're just getting $10. So it wasn't that huge of a financial incentive once you broke down to individuals, how much individually you'll get. Right now I'm going to show you clips of how it went. So you're going to start seeing, I'm going to show you clips of their work. You're going to see the students working, me kind of giving commentary on their work as we're going through it. And then at the end, I will tell you what the results were. Did the students work harder? Did they not? And then I will also show you which ones won.
Yo, who's gonna do something like that?
Dakar, what are you doing? What is your contribution to this situation? Besides looking at everybody else and keep hyping them up that y'all gonna win.
We are. Look what I did. Show them what I did. The boats in the water.
He tried. He tried.
He said Mr. Water?
Huh?
He
You said
tried.
Mr. Water?
Yeah.
Bro, how you mess up tobacco?
Okay. I think the only weakness y'all had is that this is so big. Y'all had to cover so much.
She got problems.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Talk to your partner about it.
He said he don't show hands
Take pictures of it.
Huh?
What are you taking pictures of it for?
Taking a video
Oh.
to show. What do you mean? Oh,
You taking a video?
just a word. Pretend like you're working. Pretend like you're writing something.
Okay, okay.
Look at this little actress over here. She be acting like she in band. She be acting like she playing stuff. She be acting like she goes to the bathroom when she really doesn't.
Yes, I do.
You got all the acting skills. Why you all vlog?
when I see it.
Yes. This red color came out nice. I'll tell the supervisor here what to
You only
do.
got 6 minutes left.
Oh my Lord, time just goes by fast. This is work. Let us see the final work. Hold it up. Let me check. Let me see.
Wrong direction.
That one looks nice.
I need to 1 through 7.
Yes.
The results. Results are interesting. Did the financial incentive work with the students? The answer is yes and no. This is complicated. It's yes and no. So let me first go into how it did help. The financial incentive got students who normally don't do anything. I'm talking about the students who would normally get into a group and then be that one person in the group that does absolutely nothing or does the bare minimal in that group. But these types of students are also the ones that work outside of school. So they a lot of times have like jobs, part-time jobs, full-time jobs. They go to work and they don't necessarily see the value in education all that much. And a lot of times they're there because their parents want them to graduate. So they're just going through the motions, but they're not really contributing and they're just kind of getting by. That kid benefited from a financial incentive. They did not join a group and just sit back. It was the complete opposite. If they were to get into a group, they became the leadership of that group. They became the driving force behind what they're going to be doing. They were the ones doing the majority of the work. It was they were like hands-on. This is my work. I'm doing this. We're going to win this. It was amazing. Like it threw me off because I had a student who never even wanted to come to class. Like it was a chore to just get him to class. And now he's the one in charge of this group. He's the one doing 80% of the work. He's the one reading the notes over and over, trying to come up with ideas. He's the one taking the project home and doing all the work. And it was just strange. Like it literally threw me off that they were working. And I was like, is this some joke? Like what is going on? But I will say that group worked at a level I have never seen them work before. Like I've never seen them work like this. The work they produced was exceptionally high. And a lot of the people who won, I think 3 out of 4 people who won was a student who never would have done that much work before. So yes, for students who normally do not do a lot of work, normally don't like to be at school, a lot of them have jobs outside of school, they were the ones that stepped up like you would not believe. They were the ones that did the work. They were the ones pushing the group to do better. I was in absolute shock. Now, the no, that it did not have an impact. There were students who financial incentive wasn't that big of a deal. And it was interesting because it was more of students who didn't really have like side hustles or after school jobs and stuff like that. You would think they would be the ones that would be like, oh my God, I got to make this money because they don't really have an income coming in besides their parents. But it wasn't. The thing that was so important to them was the rubric. That was the thing that got them and motivated them. And so they were looking at that rubric and they're calculating, okay, I want my grade to be this, so I'm going to do this much work to achieve that grade. And that was a very strong motivating factor. Like when they saw those rubrics, I would literally pick up the rubric and just circle like, okay, you didn't do this, so this, you got this many points, this many points. And as they're looking at the rubric and they're seeing how low their grade is, they're like, okay, miss, we're going to fix this. And so they went and started reading the details of the rubric. And they're like, okay, we need to add some type of maps or something to this so that we can get this extra 5 points. And so they were, the rubric ends up being like a huge motivating factor. But I noticed with the extreme detailed rubric and me right there in front of them, grading them and just circling the rubric, that was a bigger motivational factor than the money by far. But at the same time, they were not producing the same level of work as the students motivated by money. The students motivated by money were literally just going from group to group to group, person to person, and just like eyeballing and like, okay, theirs is better than ours because they have this. How can we beat that? And so they were more strategizing against having the best and looking at others and saying, how can we do better? The students who weren't motivated by money, but who were motivated by the rubric were, I want this grade. What do I need to do on here to get this grade? And so that's why it was a yes and no. Overall, I would say it benefited. It was a massive benefit. I got everyone involved in this situation. Like, if money wasn't your factor, if money wasn't your motivation, your grade. The rubric and an economic incentive turned this into seeing them really dig into the content and getting the depth of the topic in order to create this project. Like, I saw students caring about the grammar because they saw on the rubric, if you have any grammatical mistakes, you're going to get all these points deducted. And then I also saw students caring about the grammar because that was going to be one of the deciding factors of their projects. Implementing some type of economic benefit, I don't know what that means to the overall education system, if that is a possibility to incentivize academic work on a monthly basis where the kid is earning a paycheck by earning significantly higher grades by attending school. Because, you know, a lot of them, I do work in like an inner city type school. So incentivize, putting a financial incentive to constantly get them to going to school, but to work, because once you say you have to have this much, these types of grades, you have to score this on the test in order to get this financial benefit. They will literally become top students just for the money, and especially if it can help their families out and stuff like that. So it was an interesting experiment. I will probably be doing it in the future, not as high of a financial incentive. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I hope this leads to a bigger discussion on education and an economic incentive to improve the situation, hopefully. So I hope you guys like this video, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.